Right, I've got the plug off. It's a bit dirty, not too bad. Wants cleaning off, but I'll probably just put another one in, to be honest. I'll get another plug for that and we'll swap that over and pop that back on. That's got to help if that's cleaned up. Surely we're going to get a little bit of a better starting procedure with that on correctly as well. So I'm just wondering whether to set the head off this engine and have a look. I might do, actually. Right, so I've got this off. I just wanted to have a look in here just to make sure, see everything looks alright. There's no actual great big, if I just crank this over here, you can actually see there's no massive scoring on the side walls or anything like that. At top dead centre, everything seems to be moving nice and free, which I knew it was because it's been running alright once it gets running. I've never been in there before, so I just wanted to look. Sometimes the back of this can be a real mess as well if it's all built up with carbon and stuff like that. You can clean it off. I'll give it a little bit of a clean up and I'm going to put that back on. I don't want to make any problems where there aren't any. So I've got that off out the way. Everything looks as okay as it could. I'll give that a little clean off as well. I say I'll just pop that back on there, there's no problems there. And then we'll start rebuilding this bike and doing a few of the little bits to it. Right, so I'm going to leave it there for today as I've got a few little jobs to do this afternoon. I've got the carburettor off. The next job is to strip that down and service it. There's a video on the channel of how to service this carburettor on this Yamaha jog 50cc moped. So I'm not going to refilm all that, it's on there, you can watch that back. Give this a clean off of the outside, I'll drain the fuel out of it, and I'm going to service this carburettor like I normally would. Then I'm going to blow it out with the airline, and once again now I'm still really waiting for this ultrasonic cleaner to come. So what I want to do is clean it off as good as I can get it, as clean as I can make it look, and then I want to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner and just see what it gets out the inside, and all the little bits off that I can't get out from the inside. I considered buying a cheap Chinese one off like eBay or wherever, carburettor, and putting it on here, but I'd rather keep the original part that came with the bike. I can't help think that if it's cleaner on the inside and it's the original part, everything's running right, I'll have less problems with that than I will with a cheap one. But I might try that in the future. So I'm just going to leave it there for today. I think I'm going to wait for this ultrasonic cleaner to come. I'm going to clean these parts off. We'll have a look at cleaning that fuel cock off as well, and the tank is just drying outside. I'm just leaving everything to dry out with that, and I'll blow all that out with the compressor, and we'll put this bike back together and we'll see how it starts up. Sometimes if you can alter the you can actually alter where the actual throttle closes to, and it actually sort of naturally gives it a bit more choke, and it has fired up better. It's just a case of balancing it using these two screws here, these idle adjustment screws. But if everything ain't clean, I don't service it sort of once a year, I have problems with it starting up. So I'm really looking forward to this cleaner coming off. As you can see on these little bikes, I've got loads of little bits I could take off and just clean up. I mean, I could spend ages on it cleaning all sorts of bits out, but as long as it starts and runs right, I don't really mind too much. So I'll get back to you when this comes. If it don't come soon, actually, I might just keep this one. It's a 7.5 litre one, which is massive, and it's quite an expensive one as well, but we'll have to see what happens. So thanks for watching. I'll be back on the mower soon. I know not everybody wants to see moped videos all the time, but it is relevant, particularly because of the carb and all the little problems you come across, and just cleaning stuff off and just general maintenance of things, really. So I don't think by not watching these videos you're doing yourself some good by learning these little tricks as well. These are slightly more difficult than most mowers, but not too bad. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing as well. I've had a lot of subscribers recently, and particularly big thanks to everybody who shares my videos as well, because that really does help a lot spread the word about what we're doing here. And I'll see you again shortly. This is called a petcock. This is like a fuel cock I took off the bike. I've never totally understood why this needs to be on. As I've mentioned before, if you look on Martin Butler's Retro Restore channel, he's got lots of different videos, but he also is very good mechanically. It's particularly good with bikes, cars, things like that. And I've never understood what this did. I can't understand the reason for it. It's got a diaphragm in it, and I've just asked him a question on his channel, and he's got back to me and said he thinks it's because the reason it has this on, I don't have a reserve tank on this bike or anything like that, and this fuel tap, you can't actually turn it on and off, therefore it's not really a tap, it's a petcock. And the idea behind it apparently is that it has a diaphragm in it, so it makes sure that the bike's only pumping fuel from the tank down to the carburettor when it's actually turning over. And the idea behind it, from what I understand, if I'm understanding it correctly, is so that if there was a problem with the seating of the needle in the carburettor, it don't run past there and just fill the crankcase and the bike wouldn't start. It's eliminating that happening. So the idea of having the diaphragm in the way is so that the bike only draws fuel to the carburettor when it should be and not when it's stood. It's trying to limit the chances of filling it up, the crankcase up with petrol and it not starting. That's the idea of behind this part. Now I've got 2 or 3 of these and I made this up last time from a few spare bits. I'm not sure it's correct, so I've got a spare one here. I'm not sure if I've opened this one up, so I'm going to open that one up now. I'm just going to undo these few screws. I'm going to see what state this diaphragm's in. There's a little disc in here with a spring, so I'll get some tools together and we'll open it up and we'll just see what exactly is inside here. Just take these few out of here. What I'm really looking to get is just one really good diaphragm and make sure everything's clean. So a lot of the time in here when I've opened any of the others, it actually is like corroded quite badly inside. It's like a diaphragm with a sort of a disc that looks kind of like it spins. Let's just have a look as we open this up. Just be careful so I don't want it to come apart and not realise the order that it goes back in. So I'll just take that off. As you can see in here, there's a disc in here. This one doesn't look brilliant, but I think it's probably better than the one I've got on. The great thing about filming this for the channel is if I get it wrong, I can look back on this video and get it right again. Yeah, as you can see here, it's all corroded in here, around this area here, so I'm not exactly sure that I can probably clean that up. I'm not exactly sure that that's correct. I've got that one there, so I might take the one apart. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a spring in there as well that it goes around. I think the idea is it sits on a spring and this vibration causes it to pump the fuel down to the carburettor. So I'll keep that one there. I might have a look in the one that I've got built up. But down here, let's put these in with you. Down here on the floor is the spare petrol tank I have. I got a big box of spares when I bought this bike. The guy had loads of spares and he offered me them cheap. But I don't know if you remember earlier, I had this on the bench because I can't actually get this one off. I can take it off from the side and just have a look inside it, but what I want to try and do is get it off the petrol tank itself so I could swap it over if I wanted. But what I've been doing is spraying these screws up all day really, because they're quite rounded off as it is. I don't know if someone's had a go at that already. Might have even been myself, which I don't like to admit, but it's not brilliant. And what sometimes people do is they'll just keep going with a normal screwdriver and it slips. And what I like to do is get an impact driver, and I like to just use the weight of it using my hand to try and undo things like this, and I've had a lot of success doing that. So I'm just going to try it. That's really, really tight still. And that's really tight still. So I might have to actually give this one a tap with a hammer and try and tap it round, so I'll give that a go.